My, oh my. My, oh my. My, oh my. That was just a complete and utter disaster. This entire road trip, my goodness. You had a chance to win today, you had a chance to win yesterday, and you weren't able to come up. Your starting pitching this entire road trip was goddamn awful. It was. It was completely awful. This is a disaster of a road trip. You go 1-5 against teams that you should have beaten. Your starting pitching, this is basically what I'm taking through the entire road trip. I'm not putting anything on even though the offense this road trip, yes, has had issues with the runners in scoring position. But my entire takeaway from this road trip, your starting pitching was flat out garbage. Ranger Suarez was garbage in his 2 starts in his road trip. Nola was terrible in Arizona. Kyle Gibson on Friday against the Giants was goddamn atrocious, probably the worst out of every pitcher. Noah Syndergaard wasn't as bad as the others. He still didn't go deep enough into the ball game, and yes, the defense didn't help him out there either, but still, Noah Syndergaard wasn't good enough. Even though he wasn't as bad as the others, he still wasn't good enough. And Ranger Suarez today, basically an exact replication of what happened in Arizona. He was good for the first 3 innings of this ball game, lights out, and then for some reason in that 4th inning, something snaps and it just completely breaks down. When I look at Ranger Suarez in the past 2 starts, specifically today, he got the first out in that 4th inning. Then he doesn't get a strikeout call. Probably should have been a strike, but okay. You walk the guy, umpire missed the call, go to the batter, get him out. That's all you got to do. Ranger lets the frustration carry over to where he doesn't get his strike call. It affects him going into the next batters, and he forgets how to locate in the strike zone, and then eventually he walks guys, he allows hits. Ranger, I'm getting very concerned about. The starting rotation right now when you're missing bodies, and now you get news about Zack Wheeler, he's going to miss a 3rd start in a row here because he felt something off in his elbow, even though they said the MRI showed nothing in the elbow there. He felt soreness, and I'm very concerned about that because we all know what elbows in Major League pitchers, Tommy John and all that, even though the MRI showed there was no damage whatsoever. So I guess that's something to be positive about. But Nola, I still don't know how to gauge. People want to believe, Aaron Nola's not good. Aaron Nola has been too good this year for me to completely doubt him. But yes, that last start in Arizona for him was absolutely terrible. Kyle Gibson, Friday was just completely unacceptable by him. He was so garbage. This entire road trip, Bailey Falter has been your best pitcher. Your best pitcher. Honestly, I would say in the last 2.5 weeks, Bailey Falter has been your best pitcher. He pitched a great game in the doubleheader against the Mets. Went 6 innings against the Pirates and got the win. And then in Arizona, he pitched a great game going 6 strong innings. Good on Bailey Falter. Good on Bailey Falter for putting this team in a position to win. But when Bailey Falter has been your best pitcher over the span of maybe 2.5 weeks, that's a problem. That is a problem. Because now when your pitchers can't go past 4 innings, look how it taxes the bullpen, especially a bullpen that is going through missing bodies. When you lose Corey Knebel for the rest of the year, Seranthony Dominguez, even though they're saying, in his past couple of bullpens, he's felt really good, might be returning to the team next week after maybe a short rehab stint. So that's something positive to look for the bullpen. But when your starting pitchers can't go past or give you quality starts to give you 6-7 innings, look how taxing this has been to the bullpen and why the bullpen has probably not been the same for the past couple of weeks because your starting pitching has not been good enough. This entire road trip showcased that. And your starting pitching, this is really the only time this year where your starting pitching has really struggled. And starting pitching this year has been one of your strengths. Got to find a way to snap out of it because right now in September. And now you're going to get the Phillies doubters that come in here, and you're going to make a lot of doubters out of this fan base and a lot of people skeptical that the September collapse is coming. And I put in the title of this video that I still believe in this team because right now, yes, this road trip was embarrassing. This road trip was unacceptable. You cannot go 1-5 on a road trip. You just simply cannot. Losing a series to the Diamondbacks and getting swept by the San Francisco Giants. One reason why I'm still not worried right now, I have my concerns. I don't get me wrong there. I still have my concerns specifically with the pitching right now and losing the bodies because now Nick Castellanos as well is on the 10-day IL with a calf strain, I believe it was. So he's going to be missing some time. So he felt it on Friday after taking a swing, didn't play yesterday, got the MRI today. He's on the 10-day IL. And after missing time as well with turf toe. So Nick Castellanos out of the lineup. Maybe if you won the series in Arizona, maybe Rob Thompson didn't play Nick Castellanos in this series. So there's something there. Ranger Suarez, though, he did have around 60-something pitches after the game. He went 4 innings. I'm not sure what's wrong with Ranger. I'm not sure if it's an injury related or anything like that. I'm not sure if it's the back spasms returning. I firmly also believe there's a factor into this because he's pitching way more innings than he has in his entire career. That's also a factor right there. He's over his innings total from last year, and this is the most innings he has pitched in his entire career. I think that's what's affecting him as well. Maybe the back spasms or something that's also returning. I don't know. But Ranger Suarez, for some reason, the first 3 innings, he's lights out. But when he gets that 4th inning, it's completely a different way. I don't know how to explain it. The only thing I can think of is fatigue from pitching so many innings that he's not used to. The back spasms could probably be affecting him as well. And overall, I couldn't tell you. I just couldn't tell you the rest. Those are the 2 factors that I'm probably thinking of. September call-ups still are a thing. Maybe Griff McGarry comes up or something like that. I know they're trying to work Zack Eflin back into the pitching staff. I'm not sure if that's most likely going to be out of the bullpen. I doubt they're going to force him right back into the rotation after missing so much time. Maybe they do something with him and Ranger Suarez where Ranger Suarez maybe pitches 3-4 innings in his starts and then you bring Zack Eflin out of the bullpen for another couple of innings or something like that. I have no idea. But your starting pitching needs to be better. Also, your defense was not good on this road trip either. Yesterday, there were a lot of defensive mistakes that cost you the game. A lot of Rhys Hoskins mistakes over at first base allowed the innings to continue. It was just a very ugly, 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 ugly road trip. Completely ugly, completely embarrassing. And yeah, it's unacceptable. That is bottom line. That is bottom line on that discussion. Why I believe in this team because I still believe because I don't believe this Phillies team is the same as previous years. Reason why you brought in different leaders like a Kyle Schwarber, like all these other guys for that clubhouse. You brought back David Robertson. You brought all these other signings in here to make that locker room better. Rob Thompson has been a way better manager than Joe Girardi has been. This team since June 1st, ever since Joe Girardi got hired, went on a 70-game stretch where they won 50-plus games. I can't just simply take that 70-game sample size and just completely throw it down the bus because I see a lot of people now that are taking this 10-game sample size and saying, oh, this is who the Phillies are. They're going to collapse in September, everything like that, while just completely missing the entire rest of the past 70-game sample size where this team was one of the better teams in baseball. But people do have a right to be skeptical. Also, don't get me wrong about that. People have a ton of right to be skeptical. You do. Because this team, when it came to September, they didn't play up the standards. They didn't get to that next jump to try to get into the postseason. The 2020 shortened season, they only needed to go 2-8 in their final 10 games to get into that wild card spot. And they went 1-9. And they fell out of it by a game or something like that. 2019, they started to collapse early. 2018, they collapsed, even though 2018 to this team is not even close to the same roster as it was then. Last year's team, Bryce Harper carried them the entire way, just, ran out of gas at the end. It's just maybe a lineup change for the offense too could be something to change because there were a lot of situations where Bryce Harper was not able to bat with runners in scoring position because he's batting 4th and then Alec Bohm becomes your final out. It's nothing against Alec Bohm, but I think putting Bryce Harper maybe back in the 3 hole would be better for you, changing up the lineup a little bit. Maybe you move Bohm up to 2, you move Rhys down in the lineup a little bit, keep JT in the 4 hole, put Bryce back at 3. Then maybe, I know you had to jumble around with, the lefty, righty, and all that stuff, but you got to find a way because Rhys is in a little bit of a slump at the plate. Major slump, honestly, in my opinion. Kyle Schwarber. even like if you're going to yesterday's game with the runners in scoring position situations, Kyle Schwarber in yesterday's game had when they were down 5-4, I believe, gets a leadoff triple, and then the guys don't score him. So that's an issue. So even though like I'm not fully blaming everything on the offense, because when your pitching is going out there and constantly giving up all these runs, that's a lot of work for the offense to try. Okay, we just got you this lead. We just tied the ball game for you. Help us out a little bit here and give us some breathing room. But no, you're going out there and constantly giving up all these runs. Look at what they did, what Ranger did against the Diamondbacks, where the Phillies put out and score 7 runs. Yeah, the offense died at the end, but that's a situation where you need to win that game. That's just bottom line. Then Kyle Gibson and his game was just complete dog shit. It was just an embarrassing road trip. But still, I want to go back to why I still believe in this team, because technically you didn't lose much ground in the wild card positions. Really, the only place you lost ground in is that second wild card spot, and you're still only behind San Diego by a game after this loss. And if San Diego were to lose tonight to Los Angeles, which is a good chance, you're still only a half game behind them. And then the Milwaukee Brewers, they lost their 4-game set to the Diamondbacks 3-4. So Milwaukee's struggling a little bit too. So granted, you're struggling, and also the other teams around you are struggling at the same time. So they're giving you help there at the same, but you're not taking advantage of it, which is also the issue. You went into the Arizona series, what was it, like 2.5 games above the Padres in that second wild card spot. And now, most likely, the worst after tonight could be a game and a half. The best would be a half game behind them. Milwaukee is helping you out, though, because they're continuing to lose games, and then their schedule, like I said, they're eventually going to be playing, like I said in previous episodes, they're going to be eventually playing in a stretch of St. Louis, Yankees, and Mets all in a row. I believe they play in Colorado their next series, and Colorado is always a tough place to play in because Colorado just plays better at home than anywhere else. And then, with the Padres, their schedule going down the road, they play the Dodgers a lot upcoming. I do believe they play Arizona as well. So the Padres schedule gets tougher down the stretch. The Phillies got to take advantage of these games. This stretch on the road, they did not. And now they're coming back home for a 6-game homestand to where they got to play the Miami Marlins, who they've taken care of business a lot of this year, especially, later. Well, I mean, they've taken care of business against the Marlins more times than not this year. The Washington Nationals, they play this weekend. So this is a much-needed chance to bounce back. This is a much-needed chance to win 2 series here against teams that you have taken care of business of in the past this season many times. You have to win these upcoming series at home, because if your struggles continue into this homestand, that's when I'm going to get worried. That's when I'm going to panic. That's when I'm going to get skeptical. That's when we start to press the panic buttons. If the Phillies bounce back from this road trip and they go and win the next 2 series, I would say right now all is well. Your starting pitching needs to be a lot better, though. Are they starting to feel the effects of no Zack Wheeler in the rotation? That could be a possibility. It's just weird that everyone in the rotation besides a Bailey Falter, even though he's been up and down basically the entire year between AAA and the majors, it's weird that everyone in the rotation right now is hitting a dead point. I just don't understand that. How can that physically happen to everyone at once? It just boggles my mind. When starting pitching has been one of your strengths this year, it's weird. It's absolutely weird, in my opinion. But if you look at this entire road trip for the pitchers, Monday in Arizona, Ranger Suarez, 3 2/3 innings. Tuesday in Arizona, Nola, 4 innings. Friday against the Giants, Kyle Gibson, 1 2/3 innings, absolute dog trash. Noah Syndergaard, yesterday against the Giants, 4 1/3 innings, and today for Ranger Suarez, only 4 innings. Not good enough. It's just not good. The best pitcher this entire road trip was Bailey Falter, who went 6 1/3 innings against the Diamondbacks on Wednesday. Phillies starters have completed 7 innings in only 3 of the last 17 games. That is not good. Not good at all. And if we're talking about 7 innings, when was the last time a Phillies pitcher went past 7 innings? Was it the game where Aaron Nola got the complete game against the Cincinnati Reds? Was that the last time a Phillies pitcher went past 7 innings? It's possible. It's very possible. It's not good enough. It is not good enough, and it's very taxing on this bullpen, and you can see it. David Robertson going out there, even though he didn't pitch a lot in this series, he comes out there pitching 2 innings. And then he gives up the walk-off home run with how many outs were there in the ninth? What was it? 1 out, 2 outs, or something like that to Wilmer Flores. Walk-off 2-run shot or a walk-off solo shot. It was a 2-run shot. Even though I'm ride or die by David Robertson regardless, maybe that was an idea for maybe Rob Thompson to bring out Jose Alvarado, who was warming up in the bullpen, because David Robertson was around 40 pitches at that point, even though he got a couple of strikeouts there. But it's just like maybe there's a point in your situation where you need to, jeez. It's just embarrassing. It is completely embarrassing. It's weird, though, because you're still in a fine spot in the standings, but it's just like it's not a feel-good spot with the way you're playing during this stretch. It just isn't. Even though I still believe in this team, I completely do, and I believe in their ability to beat Miami and Washington in this upcoming stretch, and they also play Miami on the road next week as well, so it's 3 straight series of Miami, Washington, Miami before you play the Braves, Blue Jays, and the Braves again, before you basically close out the season. It's not a feel-good spot right now. And like I said, people have a complete right to be skeptical of this team because of their past woes in September. Even though I don't believe this team is the same as previous Phillies teams, they still got to prove to a lot of people that they can win in September. I still believe in this team's ability to win series against teams like the Marlins and the Nationals. I believe in it, but right now, yes, I'm concerned about the starting pitching. I'm concerned about Ranger Suarez. I'm concerned about Kyle Gibson. I'm concerned about how taxed the bullpen is because of the stretch from the starting pitchers. I'm concerned about Zack Wheeler and the situation with his injury. There's a lot of things to be concerned about. Don't get me wrong there. I'm concerned about a lot of things. Just amazing. Completely amazing that what happened this road trip. It's just, I can't even fathom it. I can't even think it was that bad. It was that bad. My God. It's very frustrating. It's just insanely frustrating at this point. I just don't understand how you go on this entire road trip and struggle like that. I don't understand. Is the September creeping in the back of this team's thoughts? Previous Septembers, even though this Phillies team should be completely different in my honest opinion, because I just can't look at this 10-game sample, a 6-game sample size, or 7 if you want to go back to that last game against Pittsburgh, to where I'm saying, no, this is who this team actually is, and then just completely disregarding the 70-game sample size of what this team did when Rob Thompson took over, when they won 50-plus games and looked like a completely different team. I just can't do that. Regardless of their competition of that, doesn't matter. They still won 50-plus games in that stretch. I can't throw that away just because of a 6-game sample size where, yes, they looked completely brutal. They looked completely terrible. Their starting pitching was bad. Issues with, it's got to get fixed. And it's got to get fixed quick if you want to get anyone in this fan base to believe. Because right now, I would say a good maybe 85-90% of the fan base right now is most likely going to be skeptical. And maybe those very few that are still believing. And I'm one of those few that still believe this team makes the playoffs. But right now, you got to prove it to a lot of people in this month of September. You really do. You can't have another September like past years. You just cannot. I still believe in the team, but people have a right to be skeptical. I have no concerns with the pitching right now just because of how taxed the bullpen is with, the way the starters have looked in the past couple of weeks. And the injuries are now catching up to you. The Zack Wheeler injury, now Nick Castellanos is injured. You're still losing arms in the bullpen with Knebel done for the season. Hopefully, Sorefny comes back next week or this week, hopefully. It's frustrating. It's completely frustrating at this point. It's got to change. Got to find a way to snap this September funk out of this team's stench, like the stench of September. You got to snap out of it. I don't know what you do. I don't know, put some scented candles in the clubhouse. Put something in there to get the stench of September out. Change all the months in the all the calendar months in the clubhouse to June. I don't know what you got to do. I don't care if the weather's like 75 degrees at nighttime or 80 degrees at nighttime. It's still June to us. I don't fuck something to get that stench out of the clubhouse of September. It's got to change. It's got to change completely. And if we're looking at this upcoming stretch with the teams that you are playing on this homestand, you got the day off tomorrow. So regroup tomorrow coming back home. Definitely a much needed day off for the bullpen as well. But if you're looking at this entire series against Miami, well, this entire stretch of pitching right here, you're going to have Aaron Nola tomorrow at 6:45 going up against Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo is 3-6 with a 3.44 ERA. In his last couple of games, 3 earned runs, 5 runs allowed, 2 earned runs, 1 earned run, 4 earned runs. Got to find a way to beat this guy. Marlins to bring up a lot of their young pitchers. Trevor Rogers, who has really struggled this year. You've beaten him around the bush a couple of times. You got to take advantage of that. Then you're going to get Sandy on Thursday. Sandy on Thursday against Kyle Gibson. I think who else pitches on? Philly Falter pitches on Wednesday against Trevor Rogers. Then you get Kyle Gibson against Sandy Alcantara. So, got to win the series. Simple as that. Got to win the series. Your bats really got to show up this week to help the pitching out, and your pitching's got to help your bats out. Can't constantly, when the bats give you like a 2-0 lead, you can't blow it away like that. You just cannot. It simply can't happen. Then you go into the series against the Washington Nationals. Syndergaard facing Patrick Corbin. Suarez going up against Eric Fried, or Feed, whatever you want to pronounce his name. And then you're going to get Aaron Nola going up against Anibal Sanchez. And then when you go into the series against Miami the following week, because every Monday during the month of September you have off. So maybe that works to the team's benefit to get, you have that rest day upcoming on the schedule. So this series in Miami, Bailey Falter against Sandy on the first game, Kyle Gibson against Edward Cabrera in the second. So those are 2 tough pitchers in a row. And then the third game is most likely going to be Noah Syndergaard for that final game. That's most likely what it looks like. And then you go into that series with Atlanta, Toronto, Atlanta again. Then you go with Chicago, Washington, Houston to close out the season. But this start tomorrow for Aaron Nola is huge. Huge. To bounce back. He needs to bounce back tomorrow. Completely needs to. After that abysmal start that he had in Arizona. Really needs to. Maybe the extra day off helps him. So they need something. They need a good start from your starter tomorrow, Aaron Nola. He needs to go 7. 7 innings tomorrow. Needs to happen. It needs to happen. It's frustrating. It's completely frustrating. Just is. Simply frustrating. So, let's look at some guys in the chat before we end the stream off. Tuesday. Yeah, I saw that, Mr. Yeah, Tuesday. I keep saying tomorrow for some reason. It is weird that they're not playing on Labor Day, but at this point, thank God they get a day off tomorrow. They desperately need it. For some reason, Mr. W says he is calm. It was predictable, so it kind of takes the pain away. The fact that you still have believe in the title is a great, and I'm happy that not all Phillies fans have lost their minds, but I'm starting to turn into a... Like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Mr. W. You have a right to be skeptical. You have a right to doubt. But I just can't throw away that whole 70-game sample size of when the team was playing great baseball and say, oh, they had a struggle of a road trip, they're going to collapse. I just can't do that. I simply can't do that. But if their struggles continue with Miami and Washington, yes, that's when I press the panic button, and that's when I get skeptical. That's when I get skeptical. This homestand has to change people's minds about this team, and quick anyways, got all that out. Let's see. The Mets thought the same thing about the Nationals. Yeah. Did I miss something? Why was Ranger pulled after only 69 pitches? I have no idea. No idea at this point, Scott. I just don't know. His past 2 starts have been, well, actually the past 3 starts have basically been the exact same. The game against Cincinnati, he went into the 6th inning, but he blew up in that 6th inning. Game in Arizona, 3 good innings, and then he blew up in the 4th. This game, exact same. 3 good innings, then blew up in the 4th. CosmoCon says this legitimately makes no sense. How are 90% of our pitchers hitting a wall at the same time, and never mind the underwhelming offense, but it's September. What are your thoughts on Robertson? He threw over 40 pitches. That is, it's basically a lot when your bullpen has been used as much as it is. And I'm ride or die by David Robertson because he was your offseason pitcher for the back of the bullpen. He wants the ball. He wants to go out there, and I admire David Robertson for that. Maybe Rob Thompson should have taken him out to bring in Jose Alvarado, but at that point, David Robertson struck out 1 or 2 batters at that point, and he was what was it 2 outs in the 9th, or was it 1 out in the 9th, or something like that? I'm still ride or die by David Robertson. Maybe Robert Thompson should have gone out there and maybe taken him out after that many pitches. The Fish for 6, the Nats for 3. Do we want to guess the record for all these? No, just don't guess anything. Don't predict anything. You got to win series. That's all you got to do. I'm not demanding sweeps. I'm not saying all that. Win series. Win series again. That's what you need to do to put yourself back in that good position. You got to do it. You simply have to do it. And it looks like the Dodgers and the Padres are on their way. They're 0-0 in the top of the 3rd inning. And the pitchers that are in this game, looks like the Dodgers are going a bullpen game, of course. And then Clevenger is pitching for the Padres. Good old LA Dodgers having to pitch a bullpen game on a Sunday. Nice. What else? Yeah, basically your main positive to take away is that the Brewers are also struggling as well. That is one of the main positives. Just is. Simply just is. Well, I think that is going to do it for today's episode, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good Labor Day weekend. If you were watching the Phillies, I apologize for that, and hopefully you try to enjoy the weekend regardless. And I hope everyone enjoys tomorrow as well, the day off, Labor Day and everything like that. If you're down the shore or just enjoying it, staying at home, chillaxing and everything like that, hopefully you're enjoyed. That's basically what I've been doing this entire weekend, chilling at home, relaxing, playing some games with the buds and everything like that. So that's why I didn't do a couple of recaps the past couple of days, but it's just watching the Phillies this week has been a major pain, especially on the late night games. Especially, they got to bounce back this week. Seriously, got to bounce back. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description down below. BrodesMedia Painted Lines. I recommend all of that. I also recommend hitting the subscribe button. It goes a very long way. And I also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first SEATGEEK purchase. Use it for any event that you can think of that is upcoming. It is a great deal. Saves you on parking and saves you on the fees and everything like that. So don't forget to do it. So thank you everyone for joining tonight, and I will see you next time.